Hi, I'm Chad with Move for Guitar. This lesson is from our series Chords for Beginners. In this lesson, I'm going to show you how to play an open D/F sharp chord. So here's an open D/F sharp chord. And a slash chord just means that the note that is the lowest in the chord is not the root. So for example, the root of a D major chord is D, which is right there, the open 4th string, but we have an F sharp in the bass, which I'm doing with my thumb right here on the 6th string. So this is my lowest note right now, so that's why it's called a slash F sharp. If it was a D major just starting on the D string, that's the lowest note would be the root, and that would just be a regular D major. But since I've taken a different note and put that in the bass, that's why it's called a slash F sharp. That's not really important to understand right now, but that's why you'll run across chords that say slash whatever. This is a D/F sharp. You might see a G/B, a C/G, and that's what's happening. A note other than the root is the lowest note that you play. So the fingering for this chord, there's two different ways to play it, and it depends on your hand and how easy it is for you to reach up with your thumb. The first way is going to be the easiest because all you're doing is taking a D major right here that you normally play, and if you don't know how to play a D major, there's a link in the description that you can go and click and learn how to play that. So it just has a regular D major here, but then you reach up with your thumb and grab the 6th string on the 2nd fret and play that note. So you have to reach all the way over with your thumb and fret that note to actually get it to ring out. You're not just blocking it like you do with some chords, you're actually making that note ring out with your thumb. And if you're able to do that, like I said, you can just keep a D shape here, reach your thumb over, and it's really easy to get if your hands are big enough. But not everyone's hands are big enough to reach up with their thumb and comfortably do that. A lot of people's hands aren't big enough. So if that's the case, you have to totally rearrange how you hold this chord. And I'll go through the fingering really quick with this just in case you don't know a D major chord. So your thumb is playing the 6th string, 2nd fret. Then your first finger is on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. And then your third finger is on the 2nd string, 3rd fret. And then your second finger is on the 1st string, 2nd fret. And like I said, this is a D major chord right here if you start on the 4th string when you strum. But since we've added in this note in the bass with my thumb, that's an F sharp, now we're playing a D/F sharp. And that's a really common chord that you'll see a lot, and it's a really useful chord. But like I said, if you can't reach up with your thumb, you're going to have to completely rearrange how you hold this chord. And it's going to be more difficult to hold, but if you practice it, it'll become easy over time. And if your hands are small, you won't really have any choice but to do it this way. So instead of holding the D major like you normally would with these 3 fingers, you're going to hold the D major with these 3 fingers, and you're going to reach your first finger up and play the 6th string like this. So now your fingering would be your first finger on the 6th string, 2nd fret, and your second finger on the 3rd string, 2nd fret. Then your 4th finger is on the 2nd string, 3rd fret, and your 3rd finger is on the 1st string, 2nd fret. So now your D major shape is being held with these 3 fingers, your 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, and then you're reaching your first finger up towards the ceiling to grab that 6th string on the 2nd fret. So if your hands aren't big enough for your thumb to reach over, this is how you're going to have to play this chord. And it'll be harder at first, but if you just practice, it'll become easy, just like anything you learn on guitar. And I should have mentioned with the other fingering, when you're doing it with your thumb, you need to block out this 5th string with your thumb. So you're lightly touching that 5th string with your thumb so that it's not ringing out, because you're going to strum through all the strings, but you don't want this 5th string to ring out. That's going to be a muted string. If it's left in, it gets really muddy. So do your best to reach over with your thumb and block out that 5th string. If you're holding it this way, you're going to have to block it out with your first finger. So your first finger is going to lay a lot flatter than it normally would. Usually with chords, you're going to have an arc right here and play more on the tip of your finger. If you're playing it like this, you're going to have to let your first finger kind of rest pretty flat and rest over the top of this fifth string to mute that string out like this. Don't push down so much that that note rings out, but just lightly touch it so it mutes it. And so I'm playing more like on this part of my finger instead of the tip of my finger. And my knuckle right here is a lot flatter than it normally would be. And all my other fingers need to be arched pretty well and have a nice arc here at the knuckle, not bent down like this. And so once you have that, no matter which way you're holding it, like this or like this, just strum through. Make sure you're not hearing anything like this. And then if you are, you just need to keep adjusting your fingers until you can get all the notes to ring out clearly. And if you'd like the diagram for this chord, you can click the link on the screen and it'll take you to an eGuide that you can download for free. And in this eGuide, it has the diagram for this chord, like I said, but also has a whole bunch of other beginner chords. It shows you how to play them, what fingers to use, and it will really help you get started as a beginner with a bunch of useful chords. And not only does it have the chords, I give you chord progressions where I've taken the chords that I show you in the eGuide and put them together in some sort of sequence so that you can play chords together and they sound good. So you're taking different chords that sound good together and playing them in a sequence to create a chord progression, which is what songs are made up of. And it'll really help you hear what chords sound good together, and it'll really help you write your own songs once you've learned them and have gotten used to playing the ones that I show you. There's just tons of possibilities, but this will help you get started. So if you'd like to get that eGuide for free, as a free download, just click the link on the screen and it'll bring you there. So that's a D/F sharp chord.